Ladies and gentlemen, what is gender equality? It is certainly access to education. It is certainly an equal opportunity to work. It is an equal opportunity to run for public office. It is all these things. But today I want to talk to you about a bedrock necessity of all of these equalities. I want to talk to you about safe and clean access to a toilet. Come with me to rural India, the place where I first learned about what it was like to not have safe and clean access to a toilet. This is the kind of place where I started my field research. I used to work all day interviewing farmers, talking to people, interviewing women, but the women in the village and I could only use the toilet, which was actually an outside lane in the village, helpfully called the ladies' lane. We could only use that facility 2 times a day. 5 a.m. in the morning under cover of darkness, 9 p.m. at night under cover of darkness. In between, we could not relieve ourselves. And I realized that the men didn't have exactly the same problem. Because every now and then my translator would tap me on the shoulder, "Hey, Isha, I'll be right back." And he would walk into the sugarcane fields, a very convenient crop, very tall, dense. He would walk into the sugarcane fields, and he'd be right back. But I could never tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hey, Shankar Rao, I'll be right back." Why not? Because our biological bodies are so different. And the social expectations of those bodies are so different in most of the communities where I work that modesty, privacy, dignity, not to be seen while going about your daily business is paramount for women and for girls. And that is what I realized, how much that makes a difference to gender equality and to the quality of life that we all aspire to. Now, of course, one of the first things to do when governments are doing it, the best they can, is to increase access to toilets in the home, to help and encourage people and assist them, low-income people, to build toilets in their home. And that's a wonderful thing for dignity, for health, for development. But is it enough? What if this is your home? Is it possible to have a latrine in this home? It is not possible. What if this is your home? Is it possible to have a latrine in this home? It is not possible. If this is your home, then this is your toilet. A place so dark and disgusting and smelly and scary that you will not go unless you are absolutely desperate. Seriously. Desperate. The men might go quietly behind the building. The women are going to wait until dark, just as I did. Here too, this is a semi-rural area. Look at the latrines. These are latrines. The men can use them for defecation, and if they feel the short call of nature, they can go in the trees. The women have to wait until dark in a toilet like this because they cannot be seen doing their business. Dignity and modesty forbids them from showing themselves in these very exposed toilets, so we wait until dark. But the dark is not nice. The minute it is dark, you're at risk. Stray dogs, stray snakes, stray men. But there's another reason why in-home toilets and encouraging in-home latrines is not enough for gender equality. One of the things I saw as I went about my daily business in my work all of these years is the lowest income women and girls are not at home in the day. They actually can't afford to be at home. Who is at home? Not these girls who are fetching water for their schools and for their communities, out for hours a day. Not this woman. She's a cook on a construction site in urban India, no latrine facilities in sight. Not this woman who is working her second shift, daytime work is over, nighttime second shift, selling surplus vegetables to make some money in rural Kenya. Not these ladies who are patrolling the streets of South Africa, keeping it safe for everybody. Where do they go to answer nature's call? They cannot go behind a tree. and they cannot go standing up. So what do you do? Picture the lives of these women. What do you do? You're far away from home. You're out there struggling for your livelihoods. Mostly you try not to go. Now think about what it means to not go between 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. There is only one way. You have to withhold food and drink. You have to not drink water. It could be 94 degrees out there, and you are going to risk dehydration, the headaches that come from dehydration. You're going to risk urinary tract infections. You're going to risk reproductive tract infections because, you cannot go privately and with dignity. But gender equality is about women's right to work. What kind of right to work is it that denies her the right to pee? And even when the public toilets are nice, beautiful, one for men and one for women, really clean inside. I took this photograph when I was in Nepal. You see, nice floor, no water on the floor, clean squat pan, running water, everything is good. But remember, there were only 2. So there will be a long line in front of the ladies' loo, and a very short line in front of the men's loo. And why is that? Because women, when they answer the short call of nature, have to sit or squat. We cannot go standing up. So the men can go quickly, the women cannot. And then if it really gets long, 2 or 3 of the men will peel off and go behind the trees anyway. You know that. We cannot. Dignity and modesty forbids it. Yes? And now I will come to the third call of nature, the call that uniquely goes out to women and girls, the monthly call, or menstruation. Women menstruate. And menstruation is so surrounded by social taboos and restrictions and shame and fear and something we mustn't talk about and something nobody wants to talk about, just has to manage secretly in private. I mean, look at this. Entrance of ladies is strictly prohibited. They are requested to maintain the sanctity of the temples. You are polluted in many cultures when you are going through your normal monthly period. But you need a toilet during your periods, right? You have to change. You have to change your soiled pad with dignity and privacy, and you cannot be seen. So imagine these children in school. What happens when their menstruation hits them? It's a difficult time of life for a girl anyway. But here it is, in school, and they need to change their pads. Is it possible, I ask you, to change your pad in a toilet that looks like this? It is not possible, so what does she do, this girl? The simplest thing for her to do is to miss school. And survey after survey has shown from Africa and around Asia that girls with very bad facilities in school, or no facilities to speak of, or with facilities where you can't lock the door, right? They miss school. At least one day, maybe more, every month. That is not gender equality in education. Now, if they don't miss school, maybe they stay in school. Maybe they stay in school. Maybe she's sitting in the classroom right now. But is she listening to her history teacher? She is not. Is she listening to her chemistry teacher? She is not. She is sitting in the back of the classroom, ladies and gentlemen. Her thighs are pressed together tightly because she's absolutely terrified that she may leak and the boys will know. That is not gender equality in education. But education is about equality of access. Equality is about education. That's what these 2 are about. What kind of right to education denies a girl the right to manage her menstruation with dignity? What I want to argue today is that gender equality is a public good. It is a public commitment. It is a social commitment, and it needs public infrastructure, publicly supported infrastructure. It needs social investment. That is the only way we can achieve this bedrock gender equality for millions of low-income girls and women around the world. Look once more at Durer's Adam and Eve, this great portrayal of what many people think of as the first mother and the first father. She's an ordinary Eve. She's an everyday woman, really, just an ordinary girl. I don't know if she's ever going to need a laptop, but for sure she's going to need a latrine, I can tell you that. I don't know if she will ever run for high public office. I tell you, few people do. But I know that she's going to need a private pee every single day. And I don't know if she's ever going to write a bestseller, or if she's ever going to start her own business, or be in the Fortune 500. I don't know those things, but I will tell you what I know. I know that she will bleed for 4 days a month, every single month, for 40 years, except when she is pregnant or if she dies young. For our everyday Eve, everyday equality, from her point of view, is surely a view from the loo. Thank you.